This is the ABQ Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week we'll interview visionary business leaders to inspire the creative power and spirit that's in every entrepreneur. Discussing strengths, weaknesses, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together for a new future for local small business.
Got a really cool short podcast today, so I want you to pay attention. If you're a business owner, if you're a leader, this is going to help you solve problems before they even happen. We're going to prevent problems from happening altogether. That sounds like a miracle pill, doesn't it? It sounds like something that you can just digest and be done, and then you're healthy for the rest of your life and you live to 100. And it sounds like a bunch of bullshit, Jason. Well, we're going to go into it a little bit. There's a book that I'm getting this from. It's from Dan Heath. Anything from Dan Heath, Heath, is great. He has a new book called Upstream, How to Solve Problems Before They Happen. And he gives a great example with Expedia. We all know Expedia. It is the travel website. And in 2012, they were having a problem. Expedia learned that out of every 100 customers who booked travel, 58 of them placed a call afterward for help. Out of 100 customers, almost 60% of them would call asking for help. That's a huge problem. So now we have two options. We can try to prevent it before it even happens, which is the right way. Or what a lot of times we end up doing, and what they did for a little bit, is we try to solve the problem. And how we solve the problem is we need bigger call centers. We need better people. We need to be quicker and more efficient. We need to get them on and off the phone within 5 minutes or less. We need to do this and this and this. And they built huge call centers and did all this, and they never even solved the problem in the first place. All they did was solve the problem of all the phone calls. But still, guess what was happening? It was costing them $100 million because they were logging 20 million customer calls. No matter what they did for cutting costs, no matter what they did with their call centers, it was still costing them $5 a call. $100 million. You see how you can think that you solved the problem, but you don't really solve the problem because you haven't got the situation that was happening before it. You didn't go upstream. You were trying to solve the problem downstream instead of going all the way back and looking and saying, what's the real problem? Well, Ryan O'Neill, Expedia's head of customer experience, and Tucker Moody, the executive vice president of global customer operations, dug into this. They did a ton of research, and they went upstream, and they found out the real problem, and this was alarming. The number one reason customers called was to request a copy of their itinerary. The number one reason people were calling was to request a copy of their itinerary, and that was costing them $5 a phone call. It's a self-service website. We know that. And so Expedia would send its customers their itineraries via email, and it was always automated. Right after you purchase a trip, a hotel, whatever it may be, you would get this automated email. So they began to dig into it pretty heavily. And they found out that very few customers were actually receiving the itinerary. Whether they mistyped their email address or they were accidentally deleting them email by accident because it had gone to the spam folder, whatever it was, they had found this out. And so O'Neill and Moody assembled a war room. These were the top people in the company to try to fix, how could they fix this? How could they help save $100 million and get all these phone calls? 60% of these phone calls gone because it's mainly itineraries. So this is beautiful, and I want you guys to understand this. An accounting smart person brought into a war room with a marketing person and a salesperson can help you out tremendously. They will give you a perspective that could be logical and different. That marketing person can be brought into an accounting and give you a perspective that could be totally different on a product or cost to the product or how they could switch it up or how they could be. You've got to take your smartest people, put them in a room together and help them go upstream and solve the problem before it even happens. So this is what they found out. Okay, we need to prevent it from going to spam. We need to make sure we send several emails that describes this. We need to make sure we have online tools that will help them get their itinerary. We need to make sure that they have to type their email address in twice so that there's no misspellings. As of today, 20 million phone calls vanished. Calls dropped from 58% in 2012 to around 15% as of now. And this tells us we can react to everyday problems as they occur. Those are downstream actions. Or we can say this is an isolated incident and I need to go upstream and figure it out. Prime example, you can have employees that call in sick all the time, or maybe you offer a wellness where they can learn how to eat. Maybe you have yoga at your business. Maybe you try to get people to understand how they can be healthy. And in turn, you won't have so many people calling in sick. Because the problem is not them calling in sick all the time, even though that costs us money. The problem is their bad habit. Maybe you could do something, a special lunch program, whatever it may be, where you have a dietitian come in and talk to everyone and tell them the type of foods. That's thinking upstream. You don't always have to fight fires. You don't always have to fight fires. And if you want to find out what fires you're fighting all the time as a business owner, because everything usually gets funneled through you get a fire journal. You take a little journal, you put it next to your desk, and you make a fire journal. And every time you have to fight a fire as a business owner or as a leader in a business, whatever it is, you write that fire down. And then you begin to see if you see patterns. I'm talking to the same person over and over again about the same thing. This department's causing this fire. This person's causing this fire. These 5 fires that I put out in the last 3 days all came from this one situation. So how can I prevent the customer even calling me in the first place or me having to call them? This is upstream intervention. Problems are going to occur, guys. They're going to occur every day. And a lot of these problems we think are out of our control and that we just need to react to them. But we have a chance with every problem to improve our system, to improve the way that our employees interact with our customers, the way that our employees live, the way that our employees interact with themselves and each other. A lot of this can be prevented. You can prevent the problem from even occurring if you have upstream thinking. Don't think that you have to fight fires all the time. Prevent them through systems thinking. Guys, get this book. It's Dan Heath. It's called Upstream, How to Solve Problems Before They Happen. Also, if you want to be a proud partner of this show, I encourage you. You can go to abqpodcast.com, click on the little tab on the top, Proud Partners. It gives a description of that. We've just signed up some more businesses that wanted to be a part of this. We send out, I have over 16,000 email addresses that we send out to business leaders. If you would like to be a partner, please email me. You can email me. It's on abqpodcast.com. We'd be more than happy to entertain that. I am kind of picky who my partners are. I like to have the same type of mindset. Some businesses don't like to advertise on my podcast because I do swear and I do have kind of difference of opinions sometimes, but that's me and that's this podcast. If you align with it, be more than happy to have you as a partner. Please don't hesitate to get a hold of me on that. Also, if you want some help with your business, I do marketing consulting. You can also DM me. I can have 5, 10, 15-minute phone call with you for free, or even better, I would love to get you to outline the problems that you have, and then let's do a podcast together. We can talk about them openly, and we can help other people by sharing those, and we can do, a 45-minute podcast, go over your problems and see how we could solve them together. That would be awesome. So if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. Go on Instagram. I'm on there the most, ABQ Jason Rigby. I'm also on Snapchat, Jason Rigby 25, but most Facebook, everything Twitter, it's all ABQ Jason Rigby. Thank you guys. Have an amazing week. Let's solve problems before they happen through systems thinking.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share and go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.